Well, hello. We're on with Jeff Braden of Braden Acquisitions LLC. My name's Todd Profit. Jeff, are you there?
I'm there. How you doing, Todd?
Good. Jeff, I'm excited to have you on the webinar today. You're going to be talking to us a little bit about commercial property that you're looking at. Is that correct?
Yeah, we were looking at this. I'm gonna break it down for everybody and kind of show everybody what we were looking at and what happened with this. So this property here was actually in Memphis, Tennessee. What really kind of attracted me to this is the pictures. You look at it, everything looks good. Now you got to understand, when you get a marketing package from a realtor, they're designed to look good. They're not going to show you all the bad stuff, you know? So they were asking $5.9 million for 334 units. And Todd, as you know, in your development in Aspen, you can't build for $17,000 per door. I mean, you can't rebuild this for that. So that kind of threw off a red flag for me. I was like, something must be wrong, but let's look at this a little bit more. I did a really kind of leisure estimate of renovation on this of about $3.5 million. And understand, this is a Class C and D property, built 1966. It's going to need a lot of renovation on it, but it's low income. It's really what we're kind of focusing on. This entails 40.
Not to interrupt, but that Memphis, Tennessee, when you're doing your demos and you're looking at these market valuations, are you looking at 60, 70%, fulfilled, 30% vacancies, or what are you looking at?
Well, I mean, in this market here, this is 95% occupancy rates.
Unbelievable.
This is yeah. So when I saw the numbers of like a 66% occupancy, that's another red flag. Something's wrong, you know? So it had a lot of things to it. Like, I mean, it's almost on 19 acres. It's located near a highway. If you ever want free advertising, you just throw a sign up on the back of one of your buildings saying room for rent. That's free advertising for you. But on the next slide, I'll kind of break it down a little bit on the numbers and show you what we're looking at here. We use a software that kind of gives us 4 different views. And of course, they give us the marketing package, which they've used a lot of performance in it. And performance, they're a lie. It's purely a lie. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. But on the projected, what we were looking at, I said, you know, I think we can probably get this for about $5 million. It's been sitting on the market for a long time. And when I ran the numbers and I called the other apartment complexes around there, the rents were a little bit higher. They were in about $515, and some of them were even $550. So I was like, you know, this might be a winner. But I did a conservative estimate. I said, you know what, let's look at the rents at about an average of about $492. And I did also an occupancy rate about 95%. So in those numbers, it actually came out to work pretty good. So
that's great.
If you scroll down on the next one, this gives us a quick breakdown. On the bottom of it, it gives us an internal rate of return of 23%. Now, this is a little bit under the 25% we really like to see, but 23%, that's pretty good. And if we get a little bit more than what we were expecting for rent, that number will improve really quick. So the other thing we were kind of a little wishy-washy on is the cap rate. It's 8.5% is what we were calculating. But in this area, it can be 8 to 9. So it really kind of depends a little bit on what we're looking at and the quality of our work once we get everything completed. On the next slide, it shows a little bit better the breakdown on what we're looking at here. This is a little bit easier to read than that last slide there. So after everything's done, I'm sorry?
Well, so you're going into this, you're going to renovate, you're going to put people into these, right? Fill the doors. Get your occupancy back up to 90, 95, right? So what you're into out usually 2 years. I know your model better than anybody on the webinar, but is about 2 years. Is that correct? You get in there 12 months to really just put these properties back together, get them rented, get them occupied. Is that correct? And resell them?
Exactly. Yeah. So in 334 units, it's really hard to do in 3 years. But you know what? You got a 34% vacancy rate. You can knock out a ton of apartments very quickly in that short amount of time. So it is possible to do that. So when we kind of went through everything and came down, we again, it was the 23.3% internal rate of return. So that's pretty good. Now, selling on year 3, you know, you're in and out, and you got a total return on investment of 79.9. But here is why we passed on this deal. Remember how Remember how I said the realtors try to make everything look good?
I remember the burnout.
Yeah, they
could comment on the phone.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't really tell us that 3 of the units and one of the buildings were completely demolished because of fire, and the roofs all need replacing. And yeah, I mean, and look at the kitchens and everything. This wasn't something that you can come in and just throw 10 grand into each unit to make it look good. These were complete guts of all the units, and I mean, you really had to kind of come in and redo a lot of stuff. So our our renovation budget went up substantially. If you go to the next one, yeah, I had talked with the realtor, and he showed me that picture, and he said, well, the wood behind the plaster is good. And I said, yeah, but the fire burned through the roof. I was like, I don't know about you, but that's a problem. So we went through and we said, you know what, we got some estimates, and the estimates came back about 5.5, and I even thought that was kind of low. So I threw in an estimate of a 6.5 into there. And when I did that, the internal rate of return went to 13%. And it just, you can't do it. One little thing in that area, one little hiccup on that property, and you don't make any money at that point, So this just wasn't worth it. But it was a potential. It almost came down to it,
Well, I know that you're out there. I know that you're looking at deals constantly. I know that you and I are working on a deal in Austin, Texas right now. Well, I think you're part of with Bill Luna and Silverhawk. And I know you're all over the country, unlike myself. But a lot of the other club members, I know that they participate, worldwide. And where your focus is, just to kind of wrap this up, I know you need to get going here. We didn't want to keep it under 15 minutes. But where are you concentrating your attentions now, Jeff? Where are you investing?
I like the lower income properties that are situated throughout the Midwest. I like through Alabama, Georgia. It's getting really difficult to do properties in like Florida and Texas. In those areas, the property prices are going through the roof. But I'm still finding low income properties in the Midwest. So that's where my focus is right now.
But there's always opportunity, is there not? You're still finding deals, you're C&Ds, you're still targeting and finding programs and projects out there, correct?
Exactly.
And if anyone wants to get a hold of you, they'll contact you, any of our club members, bradenacquisitions.com. Jeff, thank you so much for a little insight into your multifamily projects. We really appreciate
it. Thanks for having me, Todd.
Thank you. Anybody else, if you want to contact Jeff, please do so. He's a wealth of information. He's always happy to serve. And thank you for being on the webinar. We'll see you on the next one.